First of all, I like John. He distracts you with certain statements, and then he bamboozles you with well-prepared, well-backed-up numbers that you either cannot understand, yeah, just not your thing, or you cannot keep up with him. I have more facts about Tank 300 than, I'm sorry, John, than even John has. Because the person buying Tank 300 needs to, first of all, not be an idiot and understand that you don't race in that car. I disagree with John Cadogan about the fact that Tank 300 is not quite, but still kind of a piece of poo. Rephrasing John. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm Dimitri. If you're new here, this is Value Cars Australia, and I talk weekly to you, my friends, about the cars that I personally humbly believe represent value for Australians in 2023 and beyond. Yeah, I've been talking about this since late 2021. So if you're new here, you're welcome to our little club. But if you are a Chinese vehicle hater, yeah, if you kind of a little bit irrational and you are being aware of the fact that you're irrational in your dislike, I will just spare you the time and aggravation and tell you that this is probably not the channel for you. That's one thing I wanted to get out of the way before we get further into this video. So this video is sponsored by Auto Gear Reviews. Guess what? It's my other channel. It's a child project of Value Cars Australia, where I decided to start grouping up my reviews of the essential car electronics, such as dash cams and such as wireless adapters, Android Auto, Apple Carplay, and any other automotive gear that either I purchase for my own use and I think that it's worth reviewing and telling you guys and girls about, or that is being sent to me by the kind sponsors that I always include in the description of the videos that I publish for your both amusement and awareness, as well as discounts, because discounts codes are real and we all are benefiting from them, aren't we? Appreciate your support. First of all, I like John. I like John Cadogan. I think that he is truly an auto expert. He is sort of a pillar of the industry that is not mainstream media. He talks real stuff, but with a few caveats, yeah, that we will talk about, with a few asterisks, yeah? So keep your mind open. I do like him. I'm sort of addicted to him in a good sense of the word. I don't agree with everything he says, but I love his edgy style. Like, he sucks you in a little bit. He's a very likable dude who I would honestly, John, if you somehow are watching this, I live in Sydney, I would buy you a coffee or a beer, whatever you want, mate, because I think you're awesome. I do. However, what John does amazingly well, yeah, and you sign up for that show, I suppose. What John does amazingly well is that he is a little bit of a sensationalist. He loves to make a very bold, very strong, very facts and numbers backed up statement that makes you click on the thumbnail and just see what he has to say on the issue, even if you are tuning out after 3-4 minutes, but you still want to hear what he had to say about something, especially if the message is popular. What do I mean by that? Right now it's popular to either look into Tank 300, yeah, you either consider it as a car, or to bash it for one or another reason. So John is amazing at waiting for that peak of popularity of the trending topic, so to speak, and then he comes in with a bold statement. It's great, or it's crap, and he sweeps the market for clicks. You know, I don't blame him. I'm not a sensationalist, as you know me, and I do not do the same thing, but that's maybe why I have almost 7,000 subscribers and he has 300,000. Of course, yeah. Also, all due respect, he's been in this industry for far longer and far more professionally than I ever have. Please do not think that I'm trying to put myself even onto the same wavelength as John. He distracts you with certain statements, and then he bamboozles you with well-prepared, well-backed-up numbers that you either cannot understand, yeah, just not your thing, or you cannot keep up with him because he gives them to you very fast. And how many of you are taking notes there to then check on the calculator what he said? That's what John does. Yeah, it's just his thing. Me, I'm switching to a Toyota. I'm saying it in case you missed that video. I'm switching to a bloody Toyota. Okay, and I'm switching to a Toyota, but it doesn't mean that I do not believe in competitor brands, or suddenly I am drawing mental blanks from all of those Russian let's bash Tank 300 videos, disassembly videos, and other kind of stuff. I have more facts about Tank 300 than, I'm sorry, John, than even John has. Yeah, additional to that, I have driven a Haval H6 for a year. I would dare say, I'm sorry, John, once again, but you have not owned a GWM vehicle to talk confidently about whether or not it's crap and quality is crap or whatever, braking systems are crap. You look at some isolated thing, and I'm running ahead of myself here, apologies, but he quotes a certain, possibly also respectable person I don't know anything about, who has tested Tank 300 and apparently just bashes within an inch of its life the braking system of Tank 300. Apparently, Tank 300, when it brakes, it has a bit of a tilt, a bit of a pitch, and its wheels come off the ground for the 1/8 of a second. And then the rest of the video is like, oh, let's look at these numbers, blah, 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 that's what it means, blah, 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 blah. Like, no, it's not a good thing that the wheels are coming off the ground when you pitch so that ABS even engages in the car. I'm not saying it is, but what I'm saying to you is that they are sensationalizing this fact as if a box on wheels would ever brake differently. Yeah, I'm sorry. As if a box on wheels would ever brake differently to what Tank does from a relatively high speed. And also as if your mathematical genius of 1/8 of a second of wheels being a little bit off the ground when that pitch happens, as if that 1.8 of a second is actually going to save some lives. You know what's going to save some lives? If people buying Tank 300 or anything else, Jeep Wrangler, freaking, I don't know, Mercedes AMG, like something that is a box on wheels. If those people understand that these cars, aerodynamically, suspension-wise, everything-wise, are not built to be the race cars that accelerate within 3 seconds to 100 and decelerate within 2 meters when you press the brakes. I'm exaggerating. But you get what I'm saying. So his main criticism of Tank 300 with that appalling braking thing and all these numbers that he bamboozles you with, they have no practical application, because the person buying Tank 300 needs to first of all not be an idiot and understand that you don't race in that car. You don't race in that car. You should drive defensively in that box on wheels, understanding that it's not going to stop like that. It's not I don't know what to compare it to, but you get my point. I don't want to waste more of your time here, like hammering this down. All this breakdown of numbers, John, means nothing to a sensible driver. And if you're not sensible, you can drive a Toyota Fortuner, you can drive a Toyota Prado, you can drive a Jeep Wrangler, you can drive anything remotely resemblant of a car on a frame sitting high, speed up and then expect it to stop within an inch of its life and save someone else's life within a 1.8 of a second. So my point is that this is such a niche case that he's trying to capitalize on and bash the whole car for, that it just has no legs. Okay, very quickly, because this rant, and this is the main thing that I disagree with John on, let's now supplement with additional things. Everyone talks about the car, the Tank 300, being quite heavy. It's a real tank. With that heaviness, the vehicle has only like 450, if I'm not mistaken, of loading capacity. That's not much. I agree with that completely. And therefore, there is another bamboozling barrage of numbers coming from John, where he explains to non-mathematical geniuses like you and I how it is like a non-starter in the towing world. Now, here we go to the conclusion. I believe that there are forks and there are spoons at the table for a good reason. You eat soup with a spoon, and you eat your noodles, your whatever potatoes, freaking with a fork. What I'm getting at is the fact that not every Jeep-like vehicle is built for a specific purpose of towing, for example, in this particular case. Let's just get to the point here. So the point is that I am not buying Tank 300 not because I agree with John. I am not buying Tank 300 because I am fearing of depreciation and needing to resell the car in 3 or maybe 5 years if I stretch, right? And I don't want to be left with 10 grand to my name. I'm buying a Toyota because I have good reasons to believe that in 5 years of good use of low kilometers, I will sell it for half the price, at least, if not for more. That's why I'm doing it. However, Tank 300, I am not just here defending GWM. I just don't want you zooming in on those stupid numbers that mean nothing. I'm simply encouraging you to consider your use case. If you're towing, I probably agree with John. You probably would go better with something else. No problem. No problem. Yes, correct. John, you're right, mate. But if all you want is a Jeep-like elevated thing to go off-road a little bit with your girlfriend in your one kid inside of the car, if you're not planning to camp inside of the car, I also concluded that there is not enough space inside of Tank 300 to do that. For that kind of stuff, if you're not towing and if you're not hauling your whole house in that car, if you're going to treat Tank 300 as a city-built but still very cool, very awesome, very off-road capable, as our Russian videos are showing to you, translations, and Ilya from Klubny Service ripped this car apart, and even he said that it's a very freaking decently built Chinese off-roader, full on, right? Watch those videos if you haven't already. That all counts for something. So all you need to do is understand that the depreciation will be high, so if you're buying this car, buy it to run it into the ground and keep it for a long time. Don't expect it to cost like a Toyota after 5 years. It won't. That's the first thing. Second, do not buy Tank 300 if you are planning to tow. End of the story. Third, do not buy Tank 300 if you're planning to camp inside of the vehicle, as some people do. Okay? Fourth, do not think that Tank 300 or any other box on wheels vehicle, is a racing car that you need to speed up and then expect it to stop and save someone's life. No, your defensive driving and common sense is going to save those people's lives. Nothing else. Not Tank 300, nothing else. Okay? And these are really the main freaking things. So I applaud John once again for clickbaiting me and you probably to watch that video. Still love John, mate. We'll buy him a coffee anytime. But I will call it for where it is true. The guy zooms in on a little detail and then explodes it into this sensationalized problem of the universe. That's what we love him for. But that's what makes his videos also flawed and very, very one-sided. So all I wanted to say to you, if Tank 300 is right for you, under those circumstances that even I acknowledged and listed in this video and in my other videos, I don't just shield GWM for God's sake. I bash Tank for what it is. Stupid blinkers, blah, 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 blah. That kind of stuff. But don't let one man's, even an expert's opinion, who is zoomed in on Dingo Peace Creek travels and towing his whole house to it, and if you can't, then the car is rubbish. Don't zoom in on that very myopic, very single-threaded, very one-sided line of attack, line of criticism to conclude that this is a crap car, doesn't deserve to be in your hands. It is absolute rubbish statement. That is my humble opinion. Talk to me in the comments down below. As always, I welcome variety of opinions. You don't have to agree with me. You can be a foaming at the mouth fan of John's and you can tell it to me. Just please understand that just like John's club, this is a club, a private club. I'm not a shill for Chinese vehicles. I am buying a freaking Toyota if you missed it already. Okay, start listening if you have. Okay, but at the same time, so disagree if you want to. Just make it polite enough, okay? Let's just not go at each other, because I'm simply pointing out at what John conveniently bypasses and gives you a completely negative kind of spin on. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair. That's all I was going to say to you. So disagree all you want, agree all you want. This is a private club where all opinions are welcome as long as we remain mutually respectful. Thank you very much for tuning in today, and I'll talk to you next week or mid this week or mid next week about something else, different cars related. Goodbye for now.